But first up this morning, residents in flood-ravaged parts of Queensland's north are bracing for further devastation. More heavy rain is forecast across the weekend.
Yeah, let's go live to Rosanna Kinson in Townsville. And Rosanna, this has struggling communities on edge. How bad could it get?
David, up to 250 millimetres are possible in a 24-hour period, which could lead to life-threatening flash flooding. Overnight here in Townsville, we've had up to 150 millimetres falling. The warning zone is Tully to Ayr, so that includes flood-ravaged Ingham, who are only just starting to recover after water impacted their homes and their businesses over the past week. In Townsville, residents have been sandbagging again, just like they were a week ago, before thousands were asked to evacuate their homes in the so-called black and the black zones, as well as prepare in those pink zones. The catchments are already soaked, which means that any more rain that does fall will make the rivers rise quite quickly. Proserpine Airport yesterday closed in anticipation of roads being cut off. There's also extra SES and rescue crews that have been sent to Mackay and the Whitsundays in preparation, guys.
The last thing that they need right now will be tracking that weather system throughout the weekend. Thanks for that.
Well, Sam Kerr's teammates have flocked to her defence in court, describing her as a selfless in witness statements at the soccer star's racial harassment trial in the UK.
Europe correspondent Ben Downey was in court, and Ben, Kerr receiving glowing character references.
Mon, David, good morning. A host of stars from the footballing world have come to Sam Kerr's defence alongside her loved ones on the final day of evidence in her racial harassment trial. Former teammate Carly Telford says Kerr is one of the best people she's ever known, that she would trust her with her life. England and Chelsea captain Millie Bright said the same, calling Sam the most unselfish person in the world. But in closing arguments, the Crown said those character statements cannot change what Sam Kerr did and said on that body-worn video, that they cannot make it go away. The jury was posed the hypothetical, what if that officer had been black? They heard, even though calling a white man white is not as loaded as a black man black, the fact remains, the Crown said in the heat of the moment, stupid and white is an insult, and that is what the law prohibits. Mon, David.
Yeah, it's got everyone talking that case, doesn't it?
It certainly does. We're going to be talking about it a little bit later on in the program.
All right, let's get some more news now. Here's Sally.
Good morning. A man has been charged following a stabbing in a cemetery southwest of Sydney overnight. We cross live to Jake Lyle at Mary's Hill. Jake, what do the police know so far this morning?
Yeah, good morning to you, Sal. Well, a pretty terrifying turn of events. As you say, this entire thing unfolding inside a cemetery just before midnight last night. Now, what police know so far is that three friends had been walking inside the cemetery behind me at around 11:30 last night. That's when some sort of altercation erupted between them and another man who was sleeping rough inside the cemetery at the time. And it was during that fight that one of those three friends was allegedly stabbed several times, suffering a number of wounds to his arms. He's now been taken to Westmead Hospital, where he is recovering this morning. As for the accused attacker, well, police managed to track him down outside the cemetery a short time later. He was arrested, taken to Granville Police Station, where he is currently, he's been charged, and he'll face court a little bit later today. Sal?
All right, thank you very much. Jake Lyle reporting there for us. New South Wales Premier Chris Minns has ordered an immediate review into the handling of a case against an anti-Semitic arsonist. Mr Minns wants to know why Guy Finnegan was not prosecuted in a court that could have issued a harsher sentence. Finnegan, who set fire to Bondi's Curlew Lewis Brewery, was given a 10-month minimum. The Premier also asked the DPP to examine possible appeals of Finnegan's sentence on the grounds it was too lenient. A pre-season memo from AFL clubs ranking clubs on a concussion ladder has been slammed by team management and officials as frustrating and confusing. Live to Christy Mayer in Melbourne. Christy, the clubs say they need clear guidelines on how to protect their players.
Good morning, Sal. They really do. This is an issue that has sparked immense debate in recent years with no clear outcomes. We understand each of the 18 AFL clubs has received a memo outlining their pre-season statistics and which training drills produced the most head knocks. It has reportedly caused concerns, anger and some frustration among the clubs. So there's widespread awareness now about the dangers of concussion and the need to minimise those concussions. And that, of course, comes after the tragic suicide of footy great Shane Tuck and the coronial inquest into his death. And there's a real feeling now among the clubs that this data this memo gives them data, the rankings gives them information, but no clear direction as to what the clubs need to be doing to protect their players. There is ongoing debate about whether AFL players should be wearing helmets like players do in the US, and there's immense support for that among many in the medical field. But when it comes to the AFL, it's a case of more questions than answers, Sal.
Yeah, it certainly is. All right, thanks for that, Christy Mayer there. By-elections are being held today in the Melbourne seats of Werribee and Prahran. The Allen Labor government is bracing for a big swing in Werribee, with fears the ALP could lose the seat for the first time since 1979. The Western Suburbs seat has almost an 11% margin, but there are concerns of a backlash by disgruntled voters. Crime and transport infrastructure are emerging as major issues for voters. Polling booths will open from 8 a.m. today until 6 p.m. tonight. South Australia State Government is hoping a city hotel will alleviate the ongoing health crisis. With ambulance ramping still not showing any signs of improvement, the government's now looking to use the Pullman Hotel to accommodate patients. The hotel was used at the height of COVID. Now it will house medically cleared patients who need additional support. The deal between South Australia Health and Amplar will start as a 12-month trial. The government's yet to reveal how much it'll cost taxpayers, though. The WA Health Department has issued an urgent health alert following a confirmation of a measles case. The infected person attended a packed Drake concert at RAC Arena on Tuesday night, along with thousands of others. The person is a traveller from Bali and is the first confirmed measles case in the state this year. They've also visited other sites across Perth over the last week. Symptoms include fever, a cough, runny nose, sore eyes and a red, non-itchy rash. Anyone with symptoms should seek immediate care. Well, British superstar Robbie Williams has taken home an incredible 4 ACTA awards overnight for his chimp biopic, Better Man. We cross live to Jordan Bissell in Brisbane. Oh, Jordan, what a night it was, honouring our best on the screen.
Good morning, Sal, and welcome to beautiful southeast Queensland, where we saw the best of Australian film and television honoured last night. Now, as we heard, Robbie Williams took out the top gong for Best Film for his biopic Better Man, in which he is portrayed by a monkey. Now, he had a pretty interesting acceptance speech where he thanked some unusual supports for his success.
All right, thank you very much. Jordan Bissell there. I was just watching Robbie Williams and I was captivated by it. I know. I like the fact that the director, he said, I just have to amend my previous speech. The film's director said, I forgot to thank Robbie Williams. Which Robbie replied, it's all right.
Love him.
He's just such a superstar. He brought a lot of razzle-dazzle to the red carpet last night.
Yep, and our reporter was right there. We're going to be bringing you a highlights reel later.
Yep.